There is a reason this video has found you. Out of millions of distractions, thousands of shiny thumbnails and noise, you chose to click on something with the words Thoth, Chosen Ones, and Sleeping Heart Temple. That is not a casual combination. That is a frequency combination. For thousands of years, across deserts and mountains, in temples carved from stone and monasteries wrapped in clouds, there was one teaching that was never shouted in the marketplace, never written on public walls, never given to those who only wanted to manifest a better weekend. It was reserved for a different kind of person. The ones who woke at 3 a.m. with a quiet ache in the chest and no words for it. The ones who looked at their life and thought, everyone says this is enough, so why does something inside me feel half asleep? The ones who could not fully betray their own soul, no matter how much the world told them to play small. In the temples of Kemet, the old Egypt, the priests of Thoth had a name for this ache. They called it the stirring of the sleeping heart. They believed the heart was not just a pump of blood, but a gateway, a small, living temple whose walls were woven from memory, emotion, and subtle electricity. They measured truth not by logic, but by weight. The heart weighed against a feather. Too heavy, and you were still a prisoner of your own unprocessed life. Modern science, in its own way, stumbles close to this idea. We now know the heart has its own nervous system, its own electromagnetic field, extending several feet outside the body. When that field becomes coherent, calm but alive, ordered yet infinitely responsive, something happens in the brain, in the immune system, in perception itself. The ancients didn't have machines to see this field, but they had something better: direct experience. They discovered that there is a specific way of breathing, sounding, and telling the truth to yourself that wakes the heart from its stone sleep. They did not teach this to everyone. In fact, the old texts say that Thoth, the scribe of the gods, the keeper of hidden knowledge, never wastes a true practice on those who only want entertainment. He gives it only to the ones who are already turning in their dreams, already hearing the knock at the inner door. So if you're still here, hearing these words, you are already being tested. In this video, we're not just going to talk about the Sleeping Heart Temple as an idea. We're going to enter it together, step by step. You will feel how your heart has been protecting itself by going numb. Learn the vibrational practice Thoth's initiates used to test who was truly ready. Breathe, sound, and focus in a very specific sequence that can shift your entire energy field, if done with honesty, even once. Recognize the mental traps that turn real practice into empty ritual and love and light into a mask. And we will do it in a way that bridges Egypt's stone corridors and India's bhakti songs, Tibet's secret heart mantras, and modern nervous system science. Before we go on, I want you to notice something. Place your hand lightly over the center of your chest, not to force anything, just to feel. As you listen to my voice, ask yourself silently, is there something I haven't let myself feel? Don't try to answer, just notice what happens. A tightness, a pressure, a kind of heaviness or hollowness, or even a numbness, as if the heart space is wrapped in cotton. Whatever you feel or don't feel is your starting point. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply standing at the door of your own inner temple, right where the ancient path truly begins. In a moment, we'll enter the first chamber of this journey, understanding the silent summons, the way Thoth's initiates recognized who was chosen, not by bloodline, but by vibration. If, as you're listening, you feel a resonance, a strange feeling of "this is for me," I invite you right now or later to write in the comments, "The Heart Temple is calling me." That sentence is not for the algorithm. It is for your own field. It's your first small signature on the inner contract. Now, take one slow breath in through the nose and a longer breath out through the mouth. You are crossing a threshold. The silent summons. This is the quiet signal Thoth uses to call the ones whose hearts are almost ready to wake. It rarely arrives as thunder. It starts as a discomfort in a life that looks fine on paper, a job that fits the resume but not the soul, a relationship that gives you companionship but quietly starves your truth, a daily routine that looks normal from the outside but on the inside feels like you're slowly lowering yourself into lukewarm water that will one day boil. The silent summons is not dramatic. It doesn't scream. It whispers and then waits. I still remember the first time I recognized it for what it was. I was standing in a crowded city street, surrounded by noise, screens, conversations, traffic lights. Life was moving, things were working. Yet under all of it, there was this strange sensation in my chest, as if someone had gently placed a hand around my heart and was just holding it. Not squeezing, not hurting, just holding. And the thought that came with it was simple and devastating. If I continue this way, my heart will fall asleep forever. That is the silent summons. In the ancient Egyptian temples, they said Thoth never shouts at you. He rearranges your life until the unreality becomes unbearable. The summons is the ache that tells you you cannot keep pretending. The first mental trap here is easy to fall into: distraction. You feel the ache, and instead of listening, you scroll. You eat. You work more. You change partners. You move cities. You give the heart pain a new costume and call it a fresh start. But underneath, the same pattern repeats. The old texts would call this walking in circles at the gate, spending an entire lifetime spinning in front of a temple whose door you never decide to walk through. So how do the chosen ones respond differently? They stop long enough to hear the ache clearly. This is the first practice. Practice 1: hearing the summons. If you can, do this with me now. If you're driving or in a place where you can't close your eyes safely, just listen and come back to it later. Sit or stand with your spine gently straight, like a column in a temple. Place your right hand in the center of your chest, left hand over the right. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Now, breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, and breathe out through your mouth for a count of 6. Do this 3 times at your own pace. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you breathe, imagine that every exhale helps the noise of the day move a little further away. The screens, the notifications, the faces, the obligations, like distant echoes in a long corridor. Then, in the quiet that remains, ask silently, inside, Heart, what have you been trying to tell me? Do not demand an answer. Do not try to channel something impressive. Just listen, not with your ears, but with your chest. You might feel a wave of sadness for no clear reason, a memory that appears suddenly, a moment you betrayed yourself, a conversation where you stayed quiet and it cost you, a tiredness that feels older than your age, or nothing at all, just dullness. Here is the secret. All of these are valid answers. The chosen ones are not the people who feel pure love and light. They're the ones who are finally willing to feel what is actually there without numbing or decorating it. That willingness is the first sign of readiness. Modern psychology might call this emotional awareness, somatic sensing, or trauma surfacing. Mystics just call it the heart beginning to speak again. If you felt anything, even a little, I invite you to anchor this moment. In the comments, you can write, "I hear the summons," or "The journey has begun." You're not writing to impress anyone. You're marking the moment when your inner life decided to stop pretending. Warning: the comparison trap. A common mental trap. You'll hear other people talk about visions, overwhelming love, dramatic releases, and your mind will say, "I didn't feel anything. Maybe I'm not chosen enough." This is one of the oldest lies. In the heart temples, some initiates would shake and cry. Others would sit in complete stillness, with only a single tear tracking silently down the face. The priests didn't judge by outer expression, they looked at after effects. Does this person begin to tell themselves the truth more often? Do they step away from what is killing them, even if slowly? Is there more honesty in their eyes over time? That is how they knew the summons had landed. So your job is not to perform emotion. Your job is to stop lying to yourself about how you actually feel. The heart cannot wake up inside a false story. This first section is about one simple thing: recognizing that your discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is the knock on the temple door. If your heart could speak to you right now in one sentence, what would it say? Hold that sentence gently. We will carry it into the next chamber where silence meets sound and the sleeping heart begins to stir. The stone chamber of the Heart Temple. This is the inner sanctuary where silence and sound test whether you are truly ready to awaken. Anyone who has ever entered a real stone chamber, a cave, an ancient temple room, even a silent hall at night, knows this. It is not a place for those who tremble at their own inner noise. You expect silence to be empty, but deep silence is not empty. It feels like a presence. The priests of Thoth understood this. Their initiation chambers were designed not just with physical stone, but with acoustic precision. The walls were angled in such a way that sound did not merely bounce, it hung in the air, wrapping the body like invisible cloth. Why? Because they believed that the way your heart vibrates when you make a sound in that kind of space reveals exactly where you are in your journey. Modern science approaches this through different language. We talk about the vagus nerve, the wandering nerve connecting brain, heart, lungs, and gut. We study how humming and certain vowels stimulate this nerve, shifting the body from fight or flight into a state of calm alertness. We measure heart rate variability as a sign of resilience and coherence. The ancients did not say vagus nerve. They said, Let your sound touch the stone. If your heart is ready, the stone will answer. Of course, the stone did not literally speak, but the echo came back differently. Some heard their own voice and felt shame. Some heard anger. Some felt a trembling intimacy, as if the chamber knew every secret they were hiding. The Chosen One's practice begins here, in a stone chamber carved inside your own chest. Practice 2, the 33-second heart hum. You don't need a pyramid to do this. Your body is the temple. Your chest is the chamber. If you can, do this with me now. Sit with your spine straight, shoulders relaxed. Imagine someone gently lengthening you upward from the crown of your head. Place both hands lightly over your heart again. Close your eyes or lower your gaze. Take one slow breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now we will make a simple sound, a gentle like the sound of savoring something, but elongated. This is not singing, this is vibrating. Inhale softly through your nose, and as you exhale, let the lips close and release a low, comfortable for as long as is natural, without strain. We're aiming for around 33 seconds of humming in total, maybe across 2 or 3 breaths. Ready? Inhale and hum. As you hum, place your attention on different areas. First, feel the vibration in your lips and face. Then, guide your awareness down into your throat. Then, gently into the chest, under your hands. Where does the vibration feel strongest? Face, throat, chest, somewhere else. When you run out of breath, pause. Breathe normally. Do this 2 or 3 times. The goal is not to force the vibration into your heart. The goal is to notice honestly where your body is currently willing to vibrate. The old heart priests would say, if you feel it mostly in the head and face, you may be living mostly in the mind. If you feel it in the throat, there are truths wanting to be spoken. If you feel it strongly in the chest, the Heart Temple door is already creaking open. Again, these are not rigid rules, they are mirrors. The point is simple. You are listening to how your own field carries sound, shifting the vibration into the heart. Now we add a subtle shift. This time, as you hum, imagine that the sound is coming from behind your heart, like a soft, glowing sphere in your back, sending waves forward. Visualize a warm, golden-green light, like sunlight through leaves, pulsing gently with the sound. Inhale, hum again. As you do, imagine the chest cavity as a stone chamber being washed by that sound. Any old, frozen feelings are like dust on the walls. The hum doesn't force them to move, it simply loosens what is ready to fall away. You might feel a slight ache, a tenderness, like when someone touches an old bruise, a warmth spreading outward, or a strange emptiness, as if the sound reveals a hollow space you had forgotten. If tears come, let them. If nothing happens, let that be okay too. This is not a performance. This is cleaning the temple before the deeper ritual. Warning, the force trap. Here is where many seekers get lost. They think, if a little humming is good, then I'll do it for an hour and force my heart open. The old magicians would laugh gently and shake their heads. Tell you to repeat a sound 1,000 times without understanding? That is how you hypnotize yourself, not how you awaken. Doing this with honesty for 33 seconds is more powerful than mechanically chanting for hours while your mind wanders and your heart stays armored. The danger of forcing is twofold. You may override your nervous system, triggering anxiety or overwhelm. Or you may create a spiritual persona, the one who does all the practices, posts about them, and stays proudly untouched at the core. The sleeping heart temple does not open to force. It opens to alignment, when breath, sound, and truth match. So I invite you to make a quiet agreement with yourself. I will not use this practice to escape my life. I will use it to see my life more clearly. If this resonates, you can anchor it by commenting, "I am ready to hear my heart's echo." At this stage, your job is simple. Once a day, even for just 1 minute, sit, hum, and listen. Not for visions, not for fireworks, for truth. In the next chamber, we will confront the biggest obstacle to the heart's awakening, the illusions you've picked up about what love, light, and spirituality are supposed to feel like, and how those illusions keep the temple doors sealed.
The heart frequency trap. This exposes the illusions that keep the sleeping heart temple locked, even in those who do every spiritual practice correctly on the surface. Let's be honest. We live in a time where heart energy is a hashtag. Love is a slogan on mugs and t-shirts. Spirituality is often sold as an aesthetic. Salt lamps, playlists, quotes about good vibes only. Meanwhile, people who surround themselves with all the right symbols often carry hearts that are numb, exhausted, or secretly resentful. Ancient priests would call this false light, brightness that blinds rather than reveals. It's uncomfortable to admit, but necessary if you want to be one of Thoth's chosen ones. You can perform all the correct rituals and still avoid the one thing that truly opens the heart: feeling what you don't want to feel. When I first realized this, it was brutal. I had routines, I had chants, I had beautiful language to describe surrender and trust. And yet when someone touched an old wound, rejected me, criticized me, abandoned me, the mask fell. And underneath, I found a terrified child, a controlling mind, a heart that said, "I will open as long as you don't hurt me." That is not openness. That is negotiation. The sleeping heart temple cannot be bargained with. It opens only to truth. The lie of constant bliss. Somewhere along the way, we absorbed the fantasy that awakening means feeling constant peace, sweetness, and joy. The Emerald Tablets whispers say something else. Only those willing to let fear rise and fall without building a house for it may touch the deeper dimension. In other words, it's not that fear disappears. It's that your relationship to fear changes. The heart becomes a larger space, big enough to hold fear, grief, anger, and love without exiling any of them. Tell someone this and they might reply, "So you're saying I have to suffer forever?" No, the suffering is already there. The practice is about not decorating it with spiritual wallpaper. Practice 3, the truth sentence. This is one of the simplest and most dangerous practices I know. Dangerous not because it harms you, but because it dissolves delusions you may be attached to. Do this when you have at least a few quiet minutes. Again, sit or stand with your spine comfortable and straight, hand over your heart, eyes closed or soft. Take 3 slow breaths, in for 4, out for 6. Now bring to mind one area of your life where you feel constricted. It might be a relationship, your work, your family role, your health, even your spiritual path. Don't pick the right one. Pick the one that shows up first, even if it surprises you. Then, out loud, if possible, complete this sentence. If I tell the whole truth about this, I feel, and then you say what is actually there. Not what sounds wise, not what sounds spiritual, what is true. It might be terrified that everything will fall apart, or angry that I've abandoned myself for so long, or sad that I've been pretending this is enough, or numb and I don't know what I feel. Whatever arises, let it be uncensored. While you speak, notice what happens under your hands. Does the heart space tighten, soften, burn, flutter? This is the moment where many people flinch and retreat back into positive affirmations, not because affirmations are bad, but because they're being used as a shield. Thoth's initiates were trained differently. They were told, do not run from the first wave. The wave is the doorway. So instead of backing away, just breathe with the feeling. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inside your mind, or softly aloud, you say, Heart, you are allowed to feel this. I am here with you. I'm not leaving. And you stay for 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever you can. Warning, the spiritual bypass. Here is the trap. You might be tempted to jump too quickly to everything happens for a reason, or I forgive them, or I choose love. Those statements can be real after the feeling has been fully allowed, owned, and integrated. Before that, they are often just perfume sprayed over a wound that still needs cleaning. The sleeping heart temple is not impressed by pretty words. It opens to felt honesty. If you're willing, write one version of that truth sentence in the comments. If I tell the whole truth about my path, I feel, and then finish it in your own words. You don't have to give details. You can be simple. Tired, ready for change, scared but willing. This is not oversharing. This is joining a field of people who are choosing reality over performance. Cross-cultural heart courage. Egypt had its stone chambers. India has its bhakti, songs of the heart that are not always sweet. Some are cries of longing and rage toward the divine. Tibet has practices where the heart is visualized as a lotus opening in the center of a storm, not somewhere far from it. Different cultures, same principle. The heart does not awaken in a vacuum. It awakens at the exact point where you stop running away. When you combine the silent summons, hearing your ache, the stone chamber hum vibrating your chest, and the truth sentence naming your reality, you are doing something radical. You are making your heart a place where the divine can actually land, instead of a stage where you act out who you think you should be. In the final chamber, we will bring these elements together into Thoth's Chosen One's practice, a specific sequence of breath, sound, focus, and intention designed to gently unlock the sleeping heart temple. If you feel ready, even if ready means shaky, imperfect, but honest, affirm it in the field. I am ready to unlock the heart temple.
Thoth's Chosen One's practice. This is the full vibrational sequence that aligns breath, sound, truth, and attention to unlock the sleeping heart temple from within. It's hard to believe, but a practice that takes only a few minutes, done with ruthless honesty even once, can shift the architecture of your inner life more than years of passive consumption of spiritual ideas. This is not a casual meditation. It's a ritual, simple on the surface, but layered underneath, designed to do three things. Call your awareness fully into the heart space. Loosen the old armoring around it. Invite a higher coherence, a field of intelligence larger than your mind, to inhabit that space. The old legends say that when someone completed this practice for the first time with full sincerity, Thoth would write their name in light in the invisible records, not as a reward, but as a marker. This one has begun to remember. Whether you take that literally or metaphorically, the point is the same. You become a different kind of presence on Earth. Let's walk into the ritual. Step 0. Preparation. Entering the inner temple. Before we start, find a space, even a small corner, where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. You don't need candles or incense, but if you feel called, you can add one symbol that represents the heart to you. A small stone, a photo of someone you love deeply, a simple drawing of an eye inside a heart. Sit comfortably with your spine upright. Imagine that the ground beneath you is not concrete or floor, but ancient stone, cooled by centuries of prayer and presence. Feel your weight settle into that. Take 3 breaths, in for 4, out for 6. As you exhale, imagine you are stepping out of the outer world and into a corridor leading to the sleeping heart temple. You're not escaping your life. You're bringing all of it here. Every mistake, every victory, every regret, every hope. They are the offerings you lay on the altar. Step 1. The Heart Invocation Breath. Place both hands over your heart. On the inhale, silently think, I am willing. On the longer exhale, silently think, to feel what is true. Do this 7 times. In, I am willing. Out, to feel what is true. 7 is not a magic number in itself. It is a rhythm, enough repetition to slip past surface resistance, not so much that it turns into a trance. With each round, imagine the words not just as thoughts, but as knocks on a heavy inner door. You might feel subtle shifts. The chest expanding on its own. A heaviness rising to awareness? A tenderness that almost makes you want to pull your hands away. Stay. You are telling the temple, I am here. Step 2. The emerald hum. Now we combine breath with sound. Recall the 33-second hum from earlier, but this time we give it a specific color and direction. Visualize, in your mind's eye, a small emerald green flame in the center of your chest. Not a harsh fire, but a steady, living light. This flame represents your original innocence, your capacity to love without bargaining, the part of you that never fully agreed to numbness. Inhale gently through your nose. As you exhale, hum. While humming, imagine the sound feeding that emerald flame, making it slightly brighter, slightly warmer. If you feel nothing, keep the image anyway. You are rebuilding an inner sense that may have been neglected for years. Repeat this hum 3 to 5 times, resting between each. Pay attention. Does any part of your body resist? A tight throat? A clenched jaw? A strange sadness? You are not doing it wrong. You are doing it right, because you are becoming aware. Step 3, the Heart Truth Offering. Now, bring back the truth sentence from the previous section, but place it directly into the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Then say, out loud if possible, with your hands on your chest, if I tell the whole truth about my heart, I feel. And finish it honestly. Don't worry if it's messy, broken, hopeful and scared, like I've been asleep for years, angry at myself, ready to start over. After you say it, do not explain it away. Do not fix it. Just breathe with it for a few moments. Imagine that your words become a small glowing stone you place at the feet of the emerald flame, an offering. In the temples, offerings were not bribes. They were symbols of relationship. By telling the truth in the heart space, you are saying to your own essence, I will meet you in reality, not fantasy. Step 4, the Heart Temple Mantra. Now, we add a final vibrational key. The mantra is simple, Anhur. You can pronounce it like on-hor or on her. Choose what feels natural. You don't have to believe anything specific about this sound. Treat it as a vibrational tool, a bridge between ancient syllables and your present nervous system. The sequence. Inhale through the nose. On the exhale, softly chant, on her. Let the on resonate in the chest and the her sink low into the body. Do this 9 times. As you chant, imagine. With on, the heart opening like a lotus. With her, the roots of that lotus reaching down into the earth, grounding you. Visualize the emerald flame growing tall, becoming a pillar of green-gold light that stretches from your chest upward and downward, connecting your personal story to something vaster. You may feel a warmth under your hands, a subtle tingling in the spine, a sense of being more here in your body, or simply a quiet, dense stillness, all are valid. Step 5. The silent gaze from within. Now, let everything become still. No more sound, just breath and presence. Imagine that Thoth, not as a distant god, but as a field of ancient, clear awareness, is sitting behind your eyes, looking out through your chest. He is not judging you, he is seeing you. Let this awareness gaze gently at your fears, your hopes, your failures, your secrets. You don't need to narrate anything. Just allow this inner gaze to rest on the whole landscape of your life. Then, in a whisper, either out loud or in your mind, say, "Show me what must open now." Then wait. You might receive a simple knowing, a conversation you need to have, a boundary you need to set, a habit you need to release, a symbol, a door, a bridge, a broken chain, or nothing you can interpret yet, just a sense of solemnity. Trust that whatever appears or doesn't is part of the process. The Heart Temple does not always reveal everything in one vision. Sometimes it simply marks you and then rearranges your life in the days and weeks to come. Step 6. Sealing the ritual. To complete this first activation, place your hands together in front of your heart, as if in prayer, or palms pressed lightly to the chest. Say, slowly, "I have activated the sleeping heart temple within me. I choose truth over illusion. I choose presence over performance. I choose to walk as one whose heart is waking." Take a final deep breath in. Long exhale out. When you're ready, open your eyes. You have just performed Thoth's Chosen One's practice in a form adapted for this moment in history. Do not underestimate what you have done. The effects may be subtle or dramatic. You might find yourself crying without clear reason later in the day. You might feel an urge to clean, to change something, to speak honestly. You might simply feel more sensitive and think you're regressing when in fact, your numbness is melting. Remember, just doing this once with sincerity has already altered your field. You cannot unknow what you felt. You cannot unhear the silent summons. Integration and the collective field. The heart does not awaken in isolation. Every time one person shifts from numbness to feeling, from pretense to honesty, the entire human field changes a little. This is where your interaction with this video becomes part of the ritual. If you felt even a small flicker in your chest, I invite you to anchor it publicly, not for the algorithm, but for the energetic field we're weaving together around this work. In the comments, write, "I have activated the Heart Temple," or "The journey has begun. My heart is waking." As you type those words, imagine your chest glowing slightly brighter and that light connecting with others who are writing the same from different cities, countries, and timelines. If you feel called to continue walking with this field, to deepen the practice, to explore more ancient techniques, vibrational codes, and inner rituals from lost lineages, then subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and sharing it with just one person who is almost ready becomes more than a digital gesture. It becomes part of the resonance ritual. Each subscription is a small stone added to the foundation of this temple of remembrance. Each like is a subtle affirmation. Yes, this frequency matters in this world. Each share is a torch passed quietly, hand to hand, to someone whose heart may be stirring in the dark. We are not building a fan base. We are building a field where ancient knowledge is not hoarded by a few, but carefully revived and anchored in people who are willing to live it, not just quote it. If your heart is still vibrating even a little, know this: Thoth's gaze has already found you. The record of your willingness is already written, not in stone, but in light. Your task now is simple. Return to this practice when you can. Breathe into the heart. Hum the emerald sound. Tell the truth. Act even in small ways from the space that is waking. The sleeping heart temple is no longer asleep. It is opening from the inside out through you.